Chapter 46:14. Miss Hui, you're getting married soon. Congratulations. Today's noodles are on me. The boss was really happy. Perhaps he had always thought that Huamin was a good person. What are you talking about? Huamin looked at Su Yu and asked through gritted teeth. Did you see that? I cheated the boss out of a bowl of beef noodles. It's so worth it. That's all you've got. Huamin was both angry and amused. Su Yu changed the topic. Hurry up and eat. It won't taste good when it gets cold. Then Su Yu swallowed the noodles in a few big bites as if he was eating the best food in the world. Boss, one more bowl. What? You really eat as much as you want for free. Huamin laughed at Su Yu. Nonsense. Am I the kind of person who's greedy for small gains? You are. Huamin was arguing with Su Yu and thought that he would retort. Unexpectedly, Su Yu took advantage of Huamin's distraction and used his chopsticks to pick up a mouthful of noodles from his bowl. Easy. Aren't you being too mean? Huamin was angry. I can't wait anymore and I'm hungry. Do you think I'm dirty? You can give me the rest of your noodles. I don't think you're dirty. Don't even think about it. Huamin hugged his bowl and refused to let go. It was only 2 yuan worth of noodles, but the two of them were really playing hard. However, Xi was in a good mood. To be honest, Oxian's noodles were not bad, but it was not at the level of being extremely delicious. The reason why there were still many customers over the years was that most of them graduated from second high school. Secondly, and very importantly, they had not increased the price for so many years. It had always been 2 yuan per bowl. Of course, it was not a very big bowl. It might only be a few mouthfuls with some minced meat. But it was still a reasonable price. With the current prices in Sea City, if they went to other noodle restaurants, the price would be much lower. A bowl of beef ramen cost at least 15 renminbi. The reason why he wanted to eat ramen here was because he knew that Huamin's alma mater was here. Secondly, she wanted to live a normal life with Huamin. Huamin also had a good appetite today. So you ate 4 bowls in one go. Huamin also ate 2 bowls and added a lot of beef. When it was time to pay the bill, the boss refused to accept any money. He said that it was to congratulate Huamin on his wedding. Su Yu was also embarrassed. He secretly threw 100 yuan at the bar and left with Huamin. After eating and drinking to one's heart's content, it was easy for one to feel happy. When they walked out, there was even a slight breeze. It was a wonderful feeling. I'm a bit full. Let's do some exercise. Can you take me for a walk in second high? Su Yu suggested. Our school's field is very big. If you walk, you'll be exhausted. You're underestimating me. I usually work out like it's just a walk. I won't be tired. Then let's go. Chapter 46:15. Huamin smiled but didn't say anything. What are you laughing at? Did I say something wrong? He was puzzled. No, you're right. It's just that I'm not only a top student in second high, but also in primary school and junior high. Naturally, I'm a top student in second high. Then why didn't you study abroad? I heard that you received a scholarship from a university in Singapore. After Su Yu arrived in the parallel world, he realized that the people here were the same as in the other world. However, their fates were somewhat different. For example, Ning Ziyuan married He-Man, not Wu Xiaoxue. When Huamin was in second high, she didn't meet Qin Chu. Hua Xiqian and Huamin were half-siblings. All of this shocked Su Yu. Later, he investigated the past of these people again and found out that Huamin had always been excellent since she was young. However, in the face of so many offers from foreign universities, she still didn't choose to go abroad. Instead, she stayed in a medical university in the city. After completing her undergraduate degree, she came out to work. Everything that had happened was a pity. Singapore, forget it, it's not fated with me. Huamin smiled bitterly as if she didn't want to talk about this. Su Yu saw her expression and didn't continue to ask. You rich people don't understand the world of the commoners, Huamin joked. Su Yu nodded seriously. You commoners don't understand the world of the rich people either. Of course. That's why I've decided to pull you into my world of the rich people to understand. Huamin quickly shook her head. Forget it, I can't get used to it. Then I'll go to the commoners' world to understand. What do you think if I move near your house? Huamin was stunned. I've asked around. The Wu family next to your house is very sincere in selling, and the price isn't high. A courtyard is only 800,000 yuan. Auntie Wu's house? Huamin frowned. I'm not sure. My subordinate went down to discuss it. See, you're crazy. There's no sign of any demolition in our area. What's the point of buying that house? The environment is terrible, the air is foul, and the traffic is inconvenient. The roads are full of craters as if they were bombed by bombers. Even your Lamborghini would be bumpy over there. Huamin felt that it was not worth it for Suyu. Why did he have to buy a one-story house and a small courtyard for 800,000 yuan? Auntie Wu's family was really greedy. It's not expensive, it's fine as long as I'm willing. Suyu is happy. Then you can buy mine. I'll sell it to you for 790,000. If you pay in one go. I can even give you a discount. How about 78 yuan? Suyu, then we can use the 780,000 yuan you gave us to buy 2 apartments in the suburbs. We can even buy my brother's wedding house, Huamin said happily. Suyu, what do you think? If you buy mine. It's cheaper than Auntie Wu's house, Huamin continued to tease him. The problem is I want to buy that house because I want to be your neighbor. Damn it, now you want to sell your house to me? Am I going for your Auntie Wu? Ah. Huamin bent over with laughter. He didn't expect Suyu to be so funny. Suyu didn't laugh. Instead he looked at Huamin with a wronged expression. This damn girl's brain wasn't ordinary. How could she say something like that? Not only was she trying to steal from her neighbor, she even wanted to buy a wedding house for her brother. She was indeed China's best sister. What are you laughing at? Stop laughing. Be serious. Okay, let's stop fooling around. Don't buy my house, it's really not worth it. There was a developer who wanted it and negotiated with us. In the end, they offered 1,600 yuan per square meter. My house is only about 80 square meters, so the total price is only 128,000 yuan. If you give Auntie Wu 800,000 yuan at once, wouldn't she be ecstatic? I told my grandpa yesterday. I want to get married, so you suddenly brought up this matter. Chapter 46:16. I'm quite surprised that someone like you would get married so early. Huamin looked down at his sneakers and said unhurriedly. What's wrong with someone like me? Did I commit murder or arson? Suyu laughed. That's not it. I just think that children from super rich families like you are born with everything. You can't wait to eat all the delicacies in the world and flirt with all the girls in the world. You won't get married until you're 40. Very few people in their 20s are bound by marriage. Let's put it this way, isn't the son of a famous tycoon in China often on entertainment copyright in Sino Weibo? He's already in his 30s but he still doesn't get married. Isn't it because he keeps changing online celebrities? Although it's exposed he has no morals. Who doesn't get broken up when they're in a relationship? But if he gets married it's different. If he dates an online celebrity behind his wife's back, it's cheating. He'll be scolded to death. Suyu nodded. That makes sense. So, you don't have to be in such a hurry to get married. After all, marriage is a curse for you guys. Huamin said this from the perspective of a friend for Suyu. There was nothing wrong with Suyu saying that he wanted to get married. After all, the person who could marry Suyu must be from a prestigious family. Ordinary families shouldn't be considered by the Su family. That makes sense, I've learned something. Suyu bowed with both hands. Huamin smiled and rolled his eyes at him, knowing that he did it on purpose. Although what you said makes sense, I still want to get married, Suyu continued. It's fine as long as you think it through. If you want to get married, then get married. Your family's money is like a gust of wind. It's easy to prepare for the wedding of the century. In 2 words, spend money. Huamin bent down and picked up a green leaf from the ground. Only Second High had this kind of leaf. Back then, the principal transplanted a few trees from a mountainous area. He didn't expect this kind of tree to be so awesome. It grew extremely lush on the school grounds of Second High. Huamin liked this kind of leaf very much. It was a little heart-shaped. Mian, what I'm worried about right now, that girl hasn't agreed to my proposal. It's not easy. Who would be so stupid to reject Suyu's proposal? Huamin asked absent-mindedly while playing with the leaves. That's right. I also think she's retarded. How many people in the Su family want to marry into the family? Let's not talk about money and power. Just my Suyu's looks are off the charts? Suyu stroked his chin with a narcissistic look on his face. Huamin turned to look at him and nodded. Yeah, your looks aren't just off the charts. I think they're off the charts. Why do I find your words strange? The more Suyu thought about it, the more he felt that something was amiss. I didn't think too much. I was just praising you. No, you're obviously slandering me. The two of them fought all the way and in the end they were both exhausted. See, let's go back. It's too late. Hwamin looked at his watch. It was almost 9:30. Okay, I'll drive you. Suyu walked out of the campus with Hwamin and returned to the parking lot. Then the two of them got into the black Audi and left. Hwamin leaned against the passenger seat. Perhaps she was really exhausted. Suyu didn't know if she was asleep with her eyes closed the whole way. Suyu played Bandri's Lioli Lakeside. Hwamin felt even more comfortable. Then she tilted her head and fell asleep. When they arrived, Suyu didn't ask her to get out of the car. He waited for her in the driver's seat. Suyu took out his jacket from the trunk and covered Hwamin with it. Then he continued to listen to music in the car, looking at her red cheeks as she slept. Suyu wanted to kiss her. This was the person he had loved for so long. Chapter 46:17. Suyu slowly moved closer. The closer he got to Hwamin's face, the faster his heart beat. He had never done something like this before. He was really scared, like a little boy seeing his favorite toy for the first time. Suddenly, just as he was about to kiss Hwamin, Hwamin opened her eyes. What are you doing? Startled, Suyu quickly retreated back to his seat. Then he adjusted his collar and looked embarrassed. Wow, Suyu, you took advantage of me. I didn't. Then what were you doing? I just wanted to kiss you. Bullshit, kiss me? Do you think we're in kindergarten? Hwamin glared at him angrily. What, I just wanted to kiss you. If you don't like it, you can kiss me back. Shameless. Hwamin was so angry that she almost rolled her eyes. For you, I can be shameless. What are you going to do about it? Suyu said shamelessly. You can hit me or scold me if you want. Hwamin looked angry on the surface, but she really couldn't bring herself to be angry. She only said bitterly, Suyu, you're about to get married, don't mess with me. If you want to be friends, then be friends with me. If you have other thoughts, then forgive me for not being able to keep in touch with you. I don't want to be the mistress of a rich family or the third party. I've already learned a lot from my mother. Don't try to coax me like I'm a 3-year-old child and talk about love. Love between a man and a woman is very simple. If you love me, then you should marry me, not sleep with me. Perhaps because she saw through her mother's pain, her mother originally appeared before Jiang Hong. It was He Jinghai who changed sides at the last minute and married Jiang Hong for the sake of the Jiang family's power. In the end, Hwamin's mother was labeled as a mistress for the rest of her life. Hwamin admitted that Suyu was a good person, but he didn't want to follow in his mother's footsteps. In short, to her it was wrong to be a mistress no matter what reason one had. Suyu wanted to laugh, but he was afraid of angering Hwamin. Hwamin seemed to have thought too much and misunderstood Suyu. She didn't know that the person Suyu wanted to marry was definitely her. Don't worry, if I succeed in marrying the girl I love, I will never look for you again. Suyu said with a straight face. Hwamin suddenly felt hurt. Although there was nothing wrong with what Suyu said, it just sounded a little heartless, but she still felt so uncomfortable. Alright, I'm going back. Drive safe. Hwamin opened the car door and was about to get out. Suyu quickly chased after her and asked, Hey, you won't be angry tonight and block or delete me. You won't be that petty, right? Hwamin didn't say anything, and continued to walk forward. If you delete me or block me, then you're too heartless, you ingrate. Hwamin stopped and turned around angrily. I am an ingrate. Before she could finish, Suyu rushed up to Hwamin at lightning speed and gently kissed her on the lips. Then he ran away. The entire process took less than 5 seconds. By the time Hwamin reacted, the car had already started. Suyu, you bastard, you pervert. Hwamin yelled angrily. Thank you for the title, I like it. Good night, my Dr. Hua. Hwamin didn't understand Suyu's last sentence. Why did he call her Dr. Hua? Why did he think this title sounded good? Was he crazy? When she thought about how Suyu stole a kiss from her, she felt like she was dreaming. She reached out her finger and touched her lips, feeling a little dazed. Chapter 46:18. After Suyu kissed Hwamin, he didn't contact her for a few days. Hwamin was a girl who cared a lot about her face, so she didn't send Suyu a WeChat message. However, sometimes she couldn't help but look at Suyu's WeChat moments. Unfortunately, Suyu didn't post anything these days. Could it be that something had happened? Hwamin was a little worried and started to let her imagination run wild. She even looked for news about Suyu on the entertainment pages, but there was no news. Then what did Suyu do these 3 days? He was at home and didn't even go to the company. He was only at the Su family's old mansion. Then he was a good boy for 3 days, serving his mother, his grandfather, and his father who just came back. He didn't contact Huamin these few days because he was preparing a big move. Su family's old mansion morning. Tell me, what do you want? Master Lord Su had seen many people in his life and was the best at reading people's minds. His grandson had been serving him tea and water these few days, so he must have a purpose. After Lord Su said this, Mr. and Mrs. Su couldn't help but laugh. The little brat must have a request. Otherwise he wouldn't be so obedient since he was young. As expected, the older the ginger, the spicier it is. Grandpa, I do have a request, and my parents. After saying this, Su Yu deliberately looked at his parents' expressions. Mrs. Su had always spoiled her son and wasn't worried that she wouldn't agree. However, Mr. Su had a bad temper and spent less time at home than Lord Su, so this was a rare opportunity. Su Yu decided to give it a try. Of course, he wasn't confident in his heart. This wasn't like the other world. In that world, his parents and grandfather spent a lot of time with Huamin, so they liked Huamin very much. However, in this world no one knew Huamin, so it was still very abrupt to suddenly talk about marriage. Tell me, what's the matter? Su Yu's father lowered his head as he ate. He didn't even look at Su Yu. Dad, I don't dare to say, don't dilly-dally like a man. Su Yu's father really had a bad temper. Su Yu didn't say anything, but the old man was already unhappy. You hasn't said anything yet. What are you doing with the kid? Mrs. Su felt sorry for her son and scolded her husband. Su Yu gritted his teeth. He knew that it wasn't a good idea to continue dilly-dallying like this. It might even backfire. Therefore she put down her chopsticks, closed her eyes and said loudly, Master, Father, Mother, I want to get married. After saying this, Master Lord Su reacted calmly. This was because Su Yu had warned him beforehand. However, this was the first time Mr. and Mrs. Su had heard that their son was getting married. They were still very shocked. What? You're getting married? How old are you? Mr. Su frowned. 28 years old, Su Yu said confidently. 27 years old, Mr. Su corrected. Yes, weren't you the same age when you and my mother gave birth to me? Su Yu was indignant. That era was different. What era is it now? Who would get married so early? Have you done well in your career? Su Yu's father didn't seem to agree with his son's marriage. He didn't even ask who he was getting married to. He just felt that Su Yu was getting married a little too early. After all, in a rich family, many rich second-generation heirs only thought about getting married after they were 35 years old. Some even had children in their 40s. This was already a common phenomenon. Lord Su didn't say anything and just drank his nourishing soup. Seeing his father's attitude, Su Yu was a little anxious and retorted, Dad, don't you want a grandson? What do you mean? She's pregnant? Mr. Su's eyelids twitched. Chapter 46:19. Su Yu was a little embarrassed. He also felt that what he said was too dangerous. Did you get her pregnant? Mrs. Su was also very anxious. Although the Su family was rich, it was a traditional family. She really didn't want her son to bully a girl. If he really got her pregnant, it would be really troublesome. After all, this kind of thing was more embarrassing in a family. Lord Su was drinking soup. When he heard this, he pricked up his ears and listened carefully. He didn't care about anything else. He only cared about when he could have a great-grandson. What are you guys thinking? I mean, if I get married, I can have children, right? Strange, don't you not like children? Lady Su remembered that her son was like this when he was young. He didn't have much patience for babies. It was still the same when he grew up. Relatives and friends would bring their children to visit. So you basically treated them coldly. He didn't provoke the brats, but he definitely wouldn't get close to them either. Mrs. Su used to be worried that Su Yu would become a dink in the future, so she tried to persuade him. Su Yu didn't like children and he still didn't like children. However, he liked his own children. After all, children were the best of his family. When the twins were born, Su Yu was as busy as if he was their biological father. Su Yu gave 100% of his love for the twins. When Su Yu left, the twins were almost 4 years old. Su Yu had never gotten angry with them. He didn't know if it was because he wanted to marry Huamin too much or because he missed the twins too much. Su Yu felt that he didn't want to delay it any longer. Otherwise, with Huamin's slow personality, who knew how long it would take for him to get married? Yeah, I don't like children now, but I like my own children. After Su Yu finished speaking, Lord Su and Mrs. Su both laughed. I often watch the news, but I've never seen you in a relationship. Don't tell me you're going to marry a female artist from your company? Mr. Su kept a straight face. Of course not. Besides, Dad, entertainment news is just entertainment. Not many of them are true. Don't believe what they say, Grandpa. Say something for me. I've mentioned this to you before. Su Yu saw that he couldn't withstand his father's interrogation, so he decided to look for reinforcements. The old man slowly put down the soup bowl. He smiled and said, "You've made a good move. You've warmed up to me in advance. I was wondering why you suddenly respected Grandpa so much. It turns out that you're waiting for me to save the day for you. Grandpa, you love me the most. I want to get married, I want to get married. I don't care." Su Yu simply acted coquettishly and shamelessly in front of his grandfather. Master Lord Su was a sucker for this. Ever since he was young, he would satisfy Su Yu as long as it wasn't against morality or the law. "Dad, why don't you listen to what the child says about that girl?" As soon as the old man spoke, Mr. Su was indeed obedient. "If that's the case, then tell me, what's her situation?" Mrs. Su was very happy. As she stirred the milk tea, she looked at her son with a loving smile. "Grandpa, Dad, Mom, I'll be honest with you. She's not some socialite's daughter. She's not some highly educated doctor. She doesn't have a prominent background, and she doesn't even have a decent job. She's just an ordinary girl. She doesn't have a face that can topple countries, she doesn't have the ability to act coquettishly, and she doesn't have a scheming mind. But I like her. She's my cup of tea. The first time I saw her, I felt like she was my entire world. She's brave, strong, kind, and righteous." Chapter 46:20. Su Yu said so much in one breath. Although there weren't many words of praise, they were all used to describe Huamin's ordinariness. But at the end there was a huge reversal. The general meaning was that she might not be outstanding in their eyes, but she was the girl he loved. Such a long speech shocked everyone. Lady Su was even a little touched. She felt that someone who could make her son go to such lengths couldn't be too bad. Has the girl agreed? Master Lord Su still remembered that day when Su Yu said that the girl hadn't agreed. "That girl. I think she's interested in me too. It's just that because of our family background she doesn't trust me. She always thinks that I'm the kind of person who plays with feelings. So, in order to express my sincerity, I want to marry her directly." "Do you know her well?" Mr. Su asked seriously. "I do. I've actually known her for a long time and have been observing her. It's just that I've only started to officially interact with her recently. Since you make it sound so amazing, why don't you bring her back another day and let us see her?" Lady Su couldn't wait to say. "But the three of you have to help me do something first." Su Yu's foxtail finally showed. "What is it?" Lady Su was stunned. Su Yu looked at his grandpa and then at his parents. He said embarrassedly, "I hope the three of you can go to that girl's house together and propose marriage. If she agrees, I'll bring her back openly." Propose marriage? Mr. Su was stunned. "At my age, I've never done such a thing." Master Lord Su laughed. "All three of us have to go? Your grandfather too?" Lady Su was a little uncertain. "Yes, Grandpa has to go too. Only then can we show our sincerity. Also, you can't go empty-handed. You have to bring the betrothal gifts." "Mr. Su, Mrs. Su, Master Lord Su, but don't worry, I'll pay for the betrothal gifts myself. You just have to help me formally propose marriage as an elder." "Will you be rejected? What if you are rejected? That would be so awkward." Grandpa Lin laughed. "Grandpa, don't jinx it, okay?" Su Yu looked helpless. Master Lord Su's mischievousness meant that the old master was in a good mood, so his words were equivalent to an indirect agreement. Mr. and Mrs. Su naturally didn't dare to refute. "That this is too weird. We haven't even seen what the girl looks like and we're just going to propose marriage. I'm glad you like it. It's settled then." After making the decision, the old man walked towards the study. Before she left, she didn't forget to ask Su Yu, "When are we going? There's no time to lose. Let's do it this afternoon." She's on the day shift. She gets off work at around 5 o'clock. If she gets home, she'll have to take the bus at 6:30. So let's go to her house around 7 o'clock. "How many cars should we drive?" Lord Su asked Su Yu seriously like a child. "I think since it's a marriage proposal we should make it grand. How about 10 cars? It'll be perfect," Lady Su suggested. No, please don't. Mom, their family keeps a low profile. We don't want to scare them. I plan to drive my Audi A6. That's right. It's good to keep a low profile. Don't put pressure on your future in-laws. The old man nodded and went upstairs. Mr. Su was still not used to it. See, are you serious? If we go and the marriage proposal succeeds, if you go back on your word, I'll break your legs. Before Mr. Su could finish, Suyu immediately leaned forward. Holding his father's chubby chin, he smiled and said, Dad, I'm begging you this time. I promise I won't regret it in this life. I won't regret it in my next life or the life after that. Chapter 46:21. Humin got off work at the same time as usual. While he was on the bus, he kept checking his phone. There was still no contact from Suyu. He was a little disappointed. It seemed that these rich kids were indeed unreliable. It had only been a short while, and he was already tired of the old after kissing her. Besides, she knew her own limits. With such a plain face, she shouldn't even think about seducing a wealthy man. Humin laughed at himself and leaned against the window of the bus, feeling a little melancholy. When he got home, Jishin was already back. He was busy in the kitchen with his mother. Sis, you're back. Yeah. Mom made cornmeal noodles today. It's stewed with shredded potatoes and celery. Is it appetizing? Jishin smiled mysteriously. Yeah, I haven't eaten it in a long time. I'll change into my home clothes first and come help you guys later. Humin walked back to his room listlessly. What's wrong with my sister? She doesn't seem to be in a good mood. Jishin asked his mother in a low voice. Your family must be tired recently. Day and night shifts. I'm confused. Yang Meirong looked at her daughter's expression and guessed that it was because of work pressure. The family was busy. Just as they were about to eat, they suddenly heard someone knocking on the door. Because it was summer, the family had a wooden square table under a big tree in the yard. However, it was quite old and the stools were still old-fashioned benches. Hearing the knock, Jishin quickly got up to open the door. When he opened the door, he was a little dumbfounded because he didn't know any of these people. Excuse me, is Mion home? You asked first. Yes, she is. Come in. Jishin opened the door and let the guests in. Humin turned his head. When he saw Suyu, his heart almost stopped. The problem was that Suyu didn't come alone. There were 3 older people behind him. He knew Lady Su because he had seen her a few times at Southside Recuperation Center. So Suyu brought his family here? At the thought of this, Humin felt extremely nervous, and even a little helpless. Yang Meirong stood up and looked at these strangers. She didn't know what to say. Suyu introduced himself in a flattering manner. Hello, Auntie Yang, my name is Suyu. I'm Mion's. Suyu glanced at Humin and continued, I'm Mion's boyfriend. I brought my family here today to discuss our marriage. Yang Meirong felt like her brain was about to short-circuit. She couldn't react in time. Ahem ahem ahem. Jishin coughed violently, wondering what was going on. She remembered that her sister had just broken up with Ning Ziyuan not too long ago. How could she secretly have another boyfriend? And looking at the way this family was dressed, they seemed to be quite rich. Wait, what did this little brother just say? His name is Suyu? Could he be the big boss of Imperial Star Group? Jishin suddenly felt that his brain capacity wasn't enough. Sis, what's going on? Jishin asked Humin in a low voice. How would I know? Humin was also confused. Since you're here, if you don't mind, let's have dinner together. But there's nothing good at home and I didn't prepare anything in a hurry. Yang Meirong was a good person, but she felt that tonight's simple meal wasn't very good for guests. Mom, I'll go out to the restaurant and get some takeout, Jishin said. Okay. Yang Meirong took out 200 yuan from her pocket and handed it to Jishin. Auntie, it's okay. We like corn noodles. Can we sit down and eat together? Suyu looked at the food on the table. Chapter 46:22. Of course. Just like that, the 4 members of the Su family suddenly joined in. The 7 of them sat around the table and ate the cornmeal noodles. The old man was very happy and ate 2 big bowls. When I was in the army was stationed in the northeast. This was the most common food in the cafeteria. I haven't had this flavor in many years. Did you make it yourself? Yang Meirong quickly nodded. Yes, uncle, we made it ourselves. You're Mion, right? Lady Su looked at the girl sitting next to Suyu and looked at her carefully. Humin quickly stood up when Lady Su called out his name. Hello, Auntie Su. Sit down, sit down. Styled. You don't have to be so polite. Don't be nervous. Lady Su vaguely remembered seeing this child at the hospital. Then she remembered Su Yu's subtle reactions after he was discharged from the hospital during the car accident. Lady Su understood the cause and effect. Although this nurse didn't look very exquisite, there was definitely a reason why her son liked her. Law. To be honest, we're here today to propose marriage. Old Master Su had always been swift and decisive in his actions. He didn't waste time on nonsense. Therefore, after taking a sip of water, he went straight to the point. Yang Meirong was shocked. Su Yu's father was also an honest person. He took out an exquisite silver suitcase from behind him. Then he opened it and there was a pile of red yuan inside. In-law, here's 3 million yuan. We in the north have a tradition of giving gifts. I don't know how much other families give, but because we were in a hurry we didn't take a lot. Just treat this as the deposit for the child's wedding. We'll make up for it immediately if you need it later. Jishin almost choked on his noodles. 3 million yuan? Deposit? This wasn't a dream, was it? Huamin was also stunned. It wasn't because of the amount of the gift, but because he wondered why Su Yu's family was here to propose marriage. Calling her mother-in-law? What was going on? Huamin secretly stepped on Su Yu's foot, then whispered angrily in his ear. Su Yu, what's going on? That's what you saw, Su Yu said happily. You dare to trick me? Huamin was furious. It's precisely because I'm serious that I brought my entire family here to propose marriage. If I was playing with you, would I need to use my old man? Do you think anyone can meet my grandfather? Su Yu wasn't boasting. Old Master Su's military rank was so high that even the high officials would tremble when they saw him. The Su family had been able to stand strong all these years because there were too many people in the family who had joined the military and held important positions in the government. What's more, the Su family had never been involved in scheming wars. The old man had dedicated his entire life to the country, so he was full of righteousness and spoke with confidence. When Huamin heard that it was really Su Yu's grandfather, he almost went crazy. She didn't know how high Su Yu's grandfather's military rank was. However, she had long heard rumors that Su Yu's grandfather often held meetings in the capital. He was an old leader who was with the big shots every day. He wasn't someone ordinary people could afford to look up to. Lady Su took out a red bag. It was quite big. She placed it in her arms, opened it and took out the items one by one. In-law, I've prepared a dragon and phoenix bracelet, a necklace and a phoenix coronet. These were all prepared for you a long time ago. Now that you're here to propose marriage, I'll put them on and give them to Mion. I'll be happy if the two of them are happy. Looking at the Su family's lineup, Yang Meirong was a little confused and didn't know what to say. Yang Meirong glanced at her daughter. Huamin was still scolding Su Yu. However, to everyone it looked more like they were whispering to each other intimately. Ahem. Mion. Yang Meirong coughed lightly and called out to Huamin. Chapter 46-23. Mom, what's wrong? When did you start dating? Why didn't I know? Now that the in-laws are here, I'm not prepared at all. I'm so ashamed. It was obvious that Yang Meirong was very nervous. Although she didn't know Su Yu's true identity, she heard that his family's surname was Su. Yang Meirong more or less guessed that it might be related to the Su family, the #1 family in Sea City. Therefore, she nervously placed her hands on her knees and shook them. Although she was a person who had seen the world, and when she was dating He Jinghai, she often attended banquets for wealthy families. But now she hadn't experienced that kind of life for many years. She suddenly didn't know how to face it. This is actually... Huamin wanted to explain. However, Su Yu interrupted him. Su Yu stood up and bowed to Yang Meong. Auntie Yang, it's my fault. Because the paparazzi often take photos, I didn't expose my relationship with Mion. I was afraid that it would affect her life, so I've been hiding it from my elders. Last night I told my family about the situation. My family agreed with me, so I came today to propose marriage. I only hope to receive Auntie's blessings. I will use my life to protect Mion. Huamin was a little surprised. Even if Su Yu was acting, he was too good at it. However, it wasn't easy to drag his family out to cooperate with him, right? Huamin's mind was in a mess. Jishin secretly used his phone to search for Su Yu's family background. When he saw these key figures, he was dumbfounded. Old Master Su was a commander-level figure. He was a hero who could shake the entire Liaobei army if his feet trembled. Such a family. Actually came to propose marriage to his sister? Jishin felt like he might be dreaming. Then he secretly pinched his thigh and almost died from the pain. See you. Huamin turned around and glared at him. Mion, since things have come to this point, let's be honest. Only a relationship with the parents' blessing is a happy one. Plus, I don't want you to feel wronged. To prove that I'm not just playing around with you, I want to marry you. For some reason, Su Yu's eyes reddened when he mentioned the word marriage. Huamin was good at reading people's minds. He didn't see any trickery in Su Yu's eyes, only sincerity. Strange why? How long had she known Su Yu? It hadn't even been a month, right? They were even talking about marriage. To this extent. The problem was, she hadn't agreed to go out with him yet. Was this forcing a duck onto a perch? Thinking of this, Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It couldn't be Su Yu. Even the way he did things was so strange. He didn't follow the routine at all. Don't normal people get to know each other, interact, date, get engaged and get married? Why did the two of them seem to know each other? A lot of feelings were left out in the middle. Jishin gently nudged his mother and secretly showed her his phone. After Yang Merong saw it, her eyes widened and she stood up with a whoosh. Chief. We're from a small family. I don't know what to do. If I offended you in any way, please forgive me. Yang Merong never thought that her daughter would one day date the child of the city's #1 family. That kid's grandfather was a famous figure in the country. Yang Merong was scared out of her wits. Yang, don't be nervous. I'm not here to inspect as a chief. I'm Su Yu's grandfather, just an elder. I'm here to discuss the marriage of the two children. Old Master Su was very kind the entire time and didn't put on any airs. But Chief, we're obviously not compatible. Our small family isn't good enough for the Su family. Yang Merong's hands were still trembling. Chapter 46-24. After hearing Yang Merong's words, Lady Su smiled. Sister, what era are we living in now? Why are you still talking about social status? When I married into the family, Dad didn't make things difficult for me. Now that it's my grandson's marriage, he won't deliberately make things difficult for me. One of the principles of the Su family is that it's fine as long as the child likes it. Lady Su was a very cultured person. She wouldn't get angry easily and had always been gentle. Her smile and words made Yang Merong feel a lot better. At this moment, Huamin suddenly stood up and said apologetically, Master Lord Su, Uncle Su, Auntie Su, I'm sorry for being rude. I want to talk to Su Yu alone, is that okay? It's okay, go ahead. The old man waved his hand. He knew that young people nowadays were all open-minded and would be passionate when they were in a relationship. So you come with me. Huamin gestured for Su Yu to enter the house. He brought him into his small room and quickly closed the door. Mion, don't be so impatient, okay? I'm not ready yet. How about after our marriage is settled, find an auspicious day and come to my house then you big head. Huamin punched Su Yu on the head, but he didn't use much force. Why did you hit me? What do you think? Huamin crossed his arms. I brought my family here to propose marriage so sincerely, so formal. Weren't people like this in ancient times? Su Yu, when did I agree to date you? Are you thinking too much? Huamin was furious. You didn't, but it's okay. We can ignore the details of dating and talk about it after we get married. Let's get married first, Su Yu said confidently. So you're forcing me to do something beyond my ability? Huamin glared at him. No, I'm forcing myself on you. After hearing Su Yu's shameless words, Huamin was so angry that he laughed. Su Yu, believe it or not, I'll stab you to death right now. Huamin deliberately scared him. Whatever, as long as you're happy. Su Yu smiled. Huamin, Su Yu, are you crazy? Did someone cast a spell on you? Huamin was puzzled. Maybe. So, did you find someone's a spell on me? Huamin, Su Yu, stop it. We can't get married. Why? Because we don't have feelings for each other and we know each other very well. It'll be more troublesome to get married in the future, Huamin analyzed logically. It's okay, I don't have any objections. As long as we get married, I'll listen to you. If you tell me to go east, I'll go west. If you tell me to raise a dog, I'll never raise a chicken. Huamin, also, even if you're on top during our wedding night, I'm fine with it. See, you're shameless. Huamin's face immediately turned red. Madam, lower your voice. The elders are all outside. If you shout like that, they'll think we're doing something naughty in the room. Upon hearing Su Yu's words, Huamin immediately stopped talking. Su Yu, what are you doing? Getting married. The goal is clear. Get married and have kids. I'm only 24. I don't want to have kids so early, Huamin said helplessly. It's okay, I can wait for you. We can have kids whenever you want. I won't make things difficult for you. Su Yu even went up to Huamin to comfort him. Get out of my way. You're not here to propose marriage today. I think you're here to bully the people and kidnap them with your family's power, Huamin scolded Su Yu angrily. You can interpret it that way, as long as you're happy. Su Yu was still smiling. No matter what Huamin said, he wasn't angry. Chapter 46-25. Su Yu, look at yourself in the mirror. You're just the dumb son of a landlord. Huamin dragged Su Yu to the dressing table. Su Yu looked at the mirror and smiled. The dumb son of a landlord has good taste. Stop fooling around. Can you take your family home? That's impossible unless your auntie rejects us. Then we'll come back another day. If they go well today, our marriage is basically set. Are you forcing me to get married? I'm not, I'm going through the proper procedures. Su Yu insisted. Su Yu, you know we're not suitable for each other. If you wear inappropriate shoes, your feet will get hurt, understand? I'll wear whatever size you wear. I'll listen to you completely. Su Yu was stubborn. No matter what Huamin said, Su Yu wouldn't listen. He was determined to get married. Then I'll go out and tell your parents that I don't like you. Huamin used his trump card. Su Yu didn't say anything, Huamian continued. Your family members are all well-educated and reasonable. They don't look like unreasonable people, so I'm sure they'll respect my words. Mian, if you want to do this, then starting tomorrow. I'll drive my Lamborghini to Southside every day to send you flowers and lunch filled with love. During the night shift, I'll set off fireworks for you at the entrance of Southside. When the time comes, I'll let the whole world know that you're the girl that I, Su Yu, like. You're completely shameless, aren't you? Upon hearing Su Yu's idea, Huamin's scalp was about to explode. After all, she was a low-key person. If Su Yu openly confessed his love to her, she would go crazy. So, why don't you give me a chance? What chance? Huamin glared at him. Marry me. Don't even think about it. Huamin flatly refused. Don't worry, listen to me first. We can get married without getting a certificate first. Then we can spend a year together. If you don't want to, I won't touch you. A year is enough for us to get to know each other. After a year, if you still think we're not suitable for each other, we'll divorce. You won't lose anything. If you still think we're good after a year, you can go to the Civil Affairs Bureau with me to get a certificate and we can have a wedding. After Su Yu suggested this idea, Huamin was a little tempted. However, after thinking about it, he also felt that something was amiss. Su Yu, don't even think about lying to me. Isn't this the plot of a Seo novel? I won't fall for it. Who knows, maybe one day you'll get me drunk and sleep with me. When that time comes, I'll get pregnant. How can I not get married? Huamin wasn't just for show. Su Yu's tricks didn't work on her. If you don't agree, then forget it. I think I should bring my family to visit your house once a week. Huamin was very angry at Su Yu's pressure, but he couldn't bring himself to hate him. This was because Huamin knew that a man like Su Yu wouldn't casually propose marriage out of impulse. The Su family wasn't stupid. There must be a reason for them to come all the way here to propose marriage, right? After talking to Su Yu for a while, the two of them walked out one after another. At this moment, it was already very lively outside. Yang Meirong and the Su family were chatting. What's going on? Huamin muttered in confusion. Jixin ran over. Sis. Then can I brag to everyone that I'm Su Yu's brother-in-law in the future? Chapter 46-26. That's right, but I'm not bragging because it's the truth. Su Yu raised his chin smugly. Jixin was so excited that he didn't know what to say. She felt as if her sister could really marry Su Yu. Then he would be able to do whatever he wanted in school, right? He remembered that last time, a third-year senior had been together with young Master Tang because of his cousin. Although they had only been together for less than a month, he had gotten a Maserati sports car. He had bragged about it for an entire year, and then many people said behind his back that this guy's sister wasn't in a relationship with young Master Tang. She was just a little wild model who was being played with. She was just a high-class prostitute. Who did she think she was? Now, his sister's situation was different. The Su family had come to propose marriage. If this matter was exposed, how many people would die of envy? The more Jixin thought about it, the more excited he became. Huamin and Suyu returned to the dining table. There wasn't a single strand of cornmeal left. Grandpa, you're really generous. You ate several bowls yourself. Suyu looked at his grandfather and complained with a smile. What's wrong? We're family from now on. What's wrong with me eating a bowl of noodles? Then Lord Su looked at Yang Mirong and Huamin. I say, in-law. How about you bring the children to our house tomorrow? We can talk about the details of the wedding. What do you think? I'm fine with it. I'll have to trouble you with this. Yang Mirong actually called him in-law. Huamin's mind went blank. Then he tugged at his mother's sleeve. Don't call me in-law yet. It's too early, Huamin said tactfully. It's not early. The wedding date is set for the 9th of next month. They said that they're getting engaged this weekend. Huamin was shocked again. At this time, Lady Su stood up and walked to Huamin. His right hand took out a white silk handkerchief. Huamin didn't know much about silk, but when he touched it he felt that it was much smoother. Lady Su handed her hand to Huamin. Child, take this. Yu's grandmother gave it to me back then. I heard that it's been passed down in the Su family for hundreds of years. I don't know if it's worth anything, but it's a family memento. The handkerchief in Huamin's hand slowly unfolded against the wind. There was a white jade bracelet lying inside. The color and texture of the bracelet was simply a rare treasure. If this item were to be auctioned off, it would fetch at least 100 million, right? Huamin was so scared that he didn't dare to take it. Auntie, this is too expensive. I can't accept it. You must take it. As Yu's wife, you have the right and qualification. Lady Su spoke very gently, but she was smart enough to make Huamin unable to refuse. Huamin wanted to say something, but Suyu pointed at the jade bracelet. When my grandmother was still alive, she had a professional professor appraise it. This is a tribute from the Ming dynasty that was passed down to my ancestors. My ancestor was a high-ranking official in the Qing dynasty. It's said that there are no more than 3 of them on the market now. One is in the National Museum, one is in the hands of the wife of a famous Hong Kong businessman. The last one is in my house, so this bracelet is worth at least 100 million yuan. Huamian, be careful. If you keep pushing it around and it breaks, it's on you. Huamin's family was really suffering. This family of old and young came to force him to marry her, and they even used such ruthless methods. It was an eye-opener for her. While Huamin wasn't paying attention, Lady Su picked up the table and skillfully put it on Huamin's wrist. Look, it's so beautiful, Huamin. Mian, when you get married you have to take good care of your in-laws. Mom, Jixin, hurry up and carry the gift money from the Su family in. Mom, we're rich. 3 million yuan. Can you buy me an electric car? I don't want to take the bus anymore. Huamin broke down again when he heard the conversation between Jixin and his mother. You can't touch this money. This is your sister's gift money. When she gets married we have to send it back intact. Although we're poor, we can't do anything that will make people look down on us. Mom is right. We can't embarrass my sister. When my sister gives birth to a son in the Su family and stabilizes her position as the young madam, we'll talk about it. Jing Jixin, shut up. Huamin turned around angrily. In such a short time Jixin even made up a child. Chapter 46-28. After Suyu returned home, things weren't that simple. He had a small family meeting with the Su family. Lord Su spoke first. What do you think of that child? Everyone tell me. Suyu immediately became nervous. He knew that even if everyone objected he wouldn't be afraid. However, if his family said that they didn't like Mian, he would still feel uncomfortable. I think that child is quite calm. Although she's young, she has a good aura, Mr. Su commented. Mrs. Su smiled. She looks a little ordinary, but it's good that she has brains. Our Su family isn't marrying a vase home. The most important thing is that she has substance. If you likes her so much, she must have something special about her. Today I gave her the bracelet to represent my position. Mom, I love you. Suyu excitedly pounced over and hugged Lady Su. Just now at Mian's house, Lady Su saw that Mian was about to reject the bracelet, but she still smiled and let her accept it. He was really touched. All of this was thanks to his mother. Yeah, I don't have any objections. I heard that she's the daughter of the Hua family. Lord Su only used the word daughter, and didn't use the word illegitimate daughter. What kind of person was Grandpa Su? If he wanted to investigate someone, he would even investigate their ancestors. Su Yu hurriedly explained nervously, Grandpa, you can't blame her for that. I know, let me finish. We don't want to interfere with the Hua family's matters. It has nothing to do with us whether they acknowledge her as their daughter or not. We want to marry this child. We agree to your marriage this time, but you know that I've been in the military for a long time. I only have one request. Grandpa, please tell me. You're not allowed to get a divorce and you're not allowed to fool around outside. I didn't ask you what you did before you got married. After you get married, you have to be a man and take responsibility for me. Grandpa, I promise I'll do it. I only want one wife in my life. I will never do anything to let her down, nor will I do anything to bring shame to the family. Su Yu knelt on the ground and swore to the heavens. Mr. and Mrs. Su had never seen their son so serious. All right, get up. I hope you didn't do it on a whim. Managing a marriage is also a skill. You still have a long way to go. Take it slow. In the end, Master Lord Su said something meaningful. The Su family did not object to Su Yu's marriage. After all, this kid had always been reliable since he was young. This time they were definitely determined to get married. According to past practice, the rich and powerful families would definitely oppose it. But what kind of person was Lord Su? How could he not know his grandson's temper? Lord Su didn't want to make things difficult for Su Yu. He wanted him to follow his heart when it came to marriage. The most important point was that the Su family was already very powerful. They simply disdained using the method of marriage to make peace with other families. Therefore, Huamin, an ordinary girl, had already been tested by the Su family. Of course, the only thing she won was Su Yu's passionate love for her. She still didn't know how much Su Yu loved her. After Su Yu left the Su family's old mansion, he drove away. Huamin sent a few WeChat messages, but Su Yu didn't reply. Huamin, are you there? Come out. Huamin, Su Yu, stop playing dead. What's going on with the marriage proposal? Huamin, Su Yu, if you don't reply, I'll immediately block you. As soon as she sent this message, Su Yu immediately replied, Mion, come out for a moment. Chapter 46-29. Huamin, ? Su Yu, come to your house right now and get dressed. Huamin, why? Su Yu, I'm taking you out for supper. I saw that you didn't eat a single bite of noodles just now. Neither did I. I'm starving. My grandpa and the others are full, but we stupidly missed dinner. Huamin, you're still thinking about food at a time like this? Su Yu, if you're unhappy or have any complaints, you can scold me whenever you see me, okay? Huamin was silent for a while before he finally got dressed and left the house. It was summer in the north, so the temperature was a bit low at night. Therefore, Huamin wore a set of sportswear. He wore a long-sleeved black sports jacket, red loose sweatpants, and white sneakers. It was a very trendy outfit, but the brand was too niche. When Huamin left, it was almost 10 o'clock. Xixin and his mother were already lying down to rest. In order not to disturb their sleep, Xixin and Huamin both had their own rooms. His mother had been living in a small bedroom that was built later, and she was used to it. When Huamin opened the door, he saw Su Yu's black Audi parked outside. Get in. Su Yu waved his hand and Huamin sat in the passenger seat. What do you want to eat? Huamin stared at Su Yu with a straight face. Su Yu immediately smiled shyly. That's not good, right? We're not married yet. Plus, this car is too small, I can't use it. What the hell are you thinking? Huamin was so angry that he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Didn't you say, you want to eat me? Su Yu tilted his head and began to act coquettishly. Su Yu, you're so dirty I can't even communicate with you. It's okay, you can use body language. After Su Yu finished speaking, Huamin immediately pinched him hard, causing him to grimace in pain. Don't misunderstand. Mion, what I meant was, you can use sign language to show me. You're getting the wrong idea. Stop bullshitting me. Do you think I don't know what you're thinking? Huamin glared at Su Yu. Then great aunt, shall we go and eat first? When I'm full you can torture me as much as you want. Huamin didn't say anything. He turned his head and looked out the window. Suyu started the car slowly and asked her, "What do you want to eat?" "I don't have much of an appetite. You can look around." Hwamin really couldn't eat anymore. Too many things had happened in one night. "All right, let's go and have a spicy hot pot," Suyu said with a smile. At this moment Hwamin took out a wrapped jade bracelet from his pocket. "Suyu, I don't want this. Give it back to Auntie." "Why?" Suyu's face darkened. "Because it's too expensive and I didn't say that I would become the daughter-in-law of the Su family." Hwamin felt that Lady Su wouldn't explain it to him at all, so he could only give it to Suyu. Suyu was a little upset. "Is this how you trample on our family's sincerity?" "I'm not. I'm really, Mion, you're a smart person and you don't like hypocrisy. So, please tell me, are you still unable to let go of Ning Ziyuan?" "Of course not." "Then you don't like me at all." This question was actually very vague because no matter how smart a person was, they wouldn't be sure if they liked someone, especially if they hadn't established a relationship. "If you say that you don't like me at all, I'll take the bracelet now and send you home. Then I'll take the gift money and apologize to your mother. Then I'll go home and apologize to Grandpa and the others. I see you like you very much. But I still don't want to force you. So you take the bracelet back first. We'll talk about the rest later." Hwamin only felt that this 100 million yuan bracelet was too extravagant, and he didn't dare to wear it at all. Suyu glanced at the table. With his left hand on the steering wheel, he picked up the bracelet with his right hand, opened the car window and was about to throw it out. Hwamion reacted quickly and pulled him back. "Suyu, what are you doing?" Hwamin was scared out of his wits. Such a fragile thing would shatter if he threw it out, right? Chapter 46:30. Throw it away. Suyu looked very silly and naive. Hwamin frowned and grabbed Suyu's hand tightly. "Are you crazy? This is your family heirloom. What does it matter? If you don't marry me, I won't marry a wife. My grandma's things can't be passed down, so I'll stop thinking about it." Hwamin was so angry that he wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. "Suyu, this guy could sometimes anger you to death with his words, but you couldn't do anything to him." Hwamin knew that Suyu had a lot of money and Suyu didn't care about money. So if this thing really broke, it would be a loss. Forget it, forget it. I'll keep it for you." Hwamin was really afraid that Suyu would foolishly destroy the bracelet, so he quickly snatched it from Suyu's hand, carefully wiped it and put it in his pocket. She only lowered her head to wipe the bracelet, but she ignored the smug smile on Suyu's face. He knew it would be like this. There were times when Mion took the bait. It seemed that Suyu came back with the IQ of a few years later. Sometimes if he was lucky he could still tie with the 24-year-old Hwamin. Of course he couldn't bear to destroy his grandma's things. He just wanted to hit Hwamin, but he didn't expect this silly girl to take the bait. Actually, Hwamin didn't think that Suyu was just doing it on purpose. However, she still didn't want to take the risk of destroying this priceless treasure. Of course, the main reason was that she had a good impression of Suyu. There was no doubt about that. Otherwise, even if Ning Ziyuan came to propose with the dragon spring sword, she would kick him away. Hwamin thought that Suyu would take him to eat Oxan's ramen. To her surprise, Suyu drove into a secluded alley after a few turns. Then he vaguely saw the lights of a small shop. There were also 2 or 3 tables of guests eating at the entrance. "You can even find this place? You must be a god." Hwamin expressed his admiration. This area was also an old city renovation area. It was filled with small alleys. Even the GPS could not find these alleys because the roads did not have names. Of course, Suyu had done his homework and sent people to investigate. Otherwise, he really didn't eat this kind of snack, but Hwamin liked it. Now Suyu only had one principle: as long as Hwamin was happy, everything was fine. "What would you like to eat?" the elderly granny asked with a benevolent expression. 2 sesame seed cakes and 2 bowls of beef vermicelli soup." "All right." The granny then turned around and Suyu found a small wooden table in the corner and sat down. She even helped Hwamin wipe the chair with a tissue. Hwamin sat down and looked at the small shop. "How come I don't know about this place? So magical." A few friends introduced it and said that the taste is very authentic. Granny is from Anhui and has been in the north for more than 40 years. After coming here, although she's used to the customs here, she misses the specialties of her hometown. It's said that the sesame seed cakes and beef soup are both Anhue's specialties. I've never eaten them before. I don't know if northerners are used to it. You can try it first. Huamin nodded. Before eating, Siyu came up with this little story. Huamin was in a very good mood. It was easy to feel happy when eating in a small shop like this, especially when he was hungry. In fact, Huamin also liked to eat cornmeal noodles, but today she was so scared by the Su family that she didn't dare to eat a single bite. Now her stomach was growling. After a while, the steaming soup and sesame seed cakes were served. Huamin picked up his chopsticks and said, "Let's eat our own food. Don't look at each other." After saying that, Huamin lowered her head and ate like a tomboy. It wasn't rough, but it was definitely not elegant. Siyu took the opportunity to take out his phone and gently took a picture of Huamin. Click. The sound of the camera echoed clearly in their ears. Chapter 46:31. Siyu, what are you doing? Huamin raised his head warily. I'm taking a picture of the old lady behind you. Get lost. I don't believe you. Show me your phone. No. Hurry up and give it to me. No. Do you believe that I'll splash a bowl of beef soup on your face? Huamin tried to scare him. Siyu suddenly shouted, "Everyone come and see, my fiancée is going to splash beef soup on me. She's trying to murder her husband." Hearing Suyu's shout, the people at the surrounding tables immediately looked over. Huamin's face immediately turned red. "Do you keep your voice down? Do you want to die?" At this moment, someone at the table next to them laughed and sighed. Young people nowadays really like to show off their love. They're always showing off their affection. Single people like us are really hit hard. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he heard this. He temporarily forgot about looking at the photo. The two of them ate until they were full. Even Suyu, who had eaten all kinds of delicacies, was very happy. Of course, it was because he was eating with Huamin. Suyu felt that he couldn't go to Oxian's ramen with Huamin anymore. Although Qin Chu wasn't here, it was still a place where Qin Chu and Huamin commemorated each other in another world. He couldn't do something so tasteless. Therefore he planned to make this beef soup shop a place where he and Huamin often came to. He even called it the Memorial of Love. It was almost 11 p.m. after supper, and Huamin was already a little sleepy. Suyu drove her straight to her door. "I'll pick you guys up tomorrow. Come to my house for dinner." When Suyu said this, he was very nervous because he was afraid that Huamin would reject him. Huamin just smiled and changed the topic. "Suyu, give me your phone." "What? I want to see the photos." "Well, hurry up and hand it over or you won't be able to leave. This is my territory." Huamin placed his hands on his hips and displayed his imposing manner. Looking at her cute appearance, Suyu couldn't help but laugh. "Are you tactfully asking me to stay the night? I can think about it. Stop spouting nonsense. Hand it over and I'll spare your life. How about this? If you let me kiss you, I'll even give you my phone." The shameless mouth is out again. "Then you can give me a kiss. We're family anyway. There's nothing wrong with kissing each other." Suyu boasted shamelessly. While Suyu wasn't paying attention, Huamin took a few steps forward and snatched Suyu's phone. Suyu reacted faster and took the opportunity to kiss Huamin's face. "Suyu." Before Huamin got angry, Suyu started the car and drove away. "Hey, your phone." Huamin raised Suyu's phone and yelled. "I'll leave my phone with you for safekeeping. I'll lend it to you for a day." After speaking, Suyu drove away. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he took Suyu's phone home. When she got home, her movements were very light, afraid that she would wake up her mother and Jixin. After Huamin returned to his room, he was too lazy to take a shower. He quickly washed his face, changed into his pajamas and lay down. Then he took out Suyu's phone and touched the screen. It showed that he had entered a 6-digit password. Huamin immediately felt like he had been played. His phone had a password, how was he supposed to read it? Anxious, she casually entered 1 2 3 4 5 6. Who would have thought that she would be able to guess this idiot's password correctly? At that moment she suddenly felt like she had hit the jackpot. Then Huamin couldn't wait to open Suyu's phone and open the photo album. After seeing the photo, Huamin was slightly surprised. It turned out that Suyu deliberately set a trap for the scammer, but Huamin easily guessed it. It was like a professor at a university teaching a group of students. Then he asked them, "What's 1 plus 1? The 20 or so top students in the class didn't dare to answer. The answer was it was 2. Why didn't they dare to answer something that even elementary school students knew? Because all of them were overthinking the question. So you used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the same reason. So are you a peeping Tom? What? Humin's sudden question stunned Suyu. Why are there pictures of me in your phone? Humin was nervous when he asked this question. Chapter 46:33. Suyu was silent for 5 seconds before he remembered that there were many photos of Humin in his phone. Of course, they were all secretly taken when he came back this time. Although the angle wasn't good, he still liked to look at them. Every night before going to bed, he would flip through the photo album. It seemed to have become Suyu's habit before going to bed. Because I like you, Suyu said casually. Humin didn't know what to say. Do you know that it's illegal for you to secretly take photos like this? See? No. Don't sue me. Can we settle this privately? Suyu said with a smile. Knowing that he was deliberately trying to make her laugh, Humin smiled. Mion, I beg you, don't delete those photos, okay? Why? Because they're all I have. See, you're good. You're experienced in picking up girls. If I wasn't trying to stay awake, I would have been bewitched by you. Mion, really don't delete the photos. Oh, I'll delete them. Humin said this in a fit of pique, but Suyu was silent. Suyu? Are you still there? Yeah, I'm here. Suyu's voice was obviously depressed. I didn't delete them. For some reason she suddenly wanted to coax Suyu. She always saw him smiling mischievously. Occasionally she would feel that he was silent. It was a strange feeling. Hey, thank you, Mion. Perhaps the photos were really important to him. Mion didn't delete any of the photos. She didn't delete any of the photos, not even one with a blurry face. This was Suyu's phone. It was already his, so she wouldn't delete it. After chatting for a while, the two hung up. Lying in bed, Humin couldn't fall asleep. She picked up his phone again. Of course, she wouldn't look at Suyu's WeChat like other women. She wouldn't look at his call records either. He just thought that it was fun. She looked at the games that Suyu usually played and realized that there were games like Candy Crush. Then for some reason he opened Suyu's memo. He didn't expect Suyu to be a person who liked to use memos. There were many records of the company's meetings and itineraries. Then there was the theme of how many countries and places he had traveled to. At the end of the long list there was only one message, and the subject was Mion. At this point Humin's heart skipped a beat. She opened the memo nervously. There was only one sentence written on it. Can I change it to you in my next life? Shed your pride and love me to the point of insanity. For some reason Humin felt like crying when he saw those words. It felt incomparably familiar. However, she had never seen this sentence before, nor had she heard anyone say it to her. It was a magical feeling. Then for some reason Humin burst into tears. She even thought about it exaggeratedly. Did Suyu write this to Humin in his previous life? Then did Suyu reincarnate with his memories from his previous life? Humin didn't sleep well that night. She originally thought that her relationship with Suyu would be a melodramatic drama, but she always inadvertently discovered Suyu's delicate feelings. The next day Humin went to work as usual, but she was absent-minded. Suyu's phone was strangely quiet. No one called. Of course, it was Suyu who set up the interception. It was to prevent those who knew or didn't know from harassing Humin. Sister Mion, do you have any wishes? The young nurse beside her asked out of the blue. Me? Maybe my only wish is to become a doctor one day? Humin smiled. After work, Suyu drove to pick up Humin and then went to Humin's house to pick up Yang Mirong and Jishin. He took them back to the Su family's old mansion. Humian thought that the Su family would only have those 3 people, but when she arrived she realized that there were more than 20 family members and friends of the Su family. There were 3 extra tables in the dining room. Chapter 46:34. Suyu, is it Lord Su's birthday today? Nope. Then your house is. Our family tradition is that when I have a girlfriend I bring her home for the first time. Then everyone will come over like this. So they all live in our city? Humin was shocked. No, most of them are in Jing City in Guangdong. So they came by plane? Yeah, and some came back from Singapore and Hong Kong. Okay, you win. Huamin didn't expect the Su family to be so grand. Suyu also thoughtfully prepared dresses for Huamin and his family. They weren't too fancy, just suitable for this occasion. During dinner, Suyu brought Huamin to each table to toast. Then they started to recognize relatives, for example second uncle, cousin-in-law, third aunt. In short, after one round, Huamin didn't remember a single person. Suyu took the opportunity to pull Huamin to his room upstairs to rest. Huamin was still trembling with the red packet in her hand. Is this okay? When they were greeting them just now, everyone had prepared red packets. Huamin felt like she was going to be rich. This is the Su family's rule. Take it, we'll cheat you if we can. Huamin was speechless. Mian, drink some water and rest. I'll go downstairs and say something. Huamin sat alone in Suyu's room and suddenly didn't feel tired anymore. Then she got up and put the red packet on the bed. She looked at the furnishings in Suyu's room. The Su family liked mahogany and it was Chinese. It was very old-fashioned but elegant. Only Suyu's room was special. It was blue, it was a little Mediterranean. There were many old photos of Suyu on the table. There were also pictures of him playing basketball and even posters of Jordan. Huamin felt that it was very interesting, so she kept looking at it. She even took out her phone to take photos that she found interesting. He would save it for when he needed to use it against Suyu in the future. Suyu went downstairs and greeted the guests. Then he walked up to his uncle and saw a girl who was about 15 or 16 years old sitting next to his third uncle. Her appearance was exquisite and her long hair fluttered in the wind. Suyu was touched. Third uncle, is this your granddaughter Xiao Xiao? Ah, right, it's Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, hurry up and call him uncle. At this time Su Xiao Xiao still had long hair. Although she was rebellious, she was still very obedient in the Su family. She looked up at Suyu and called out, Uncle. Good girl. Suyu patted Xiao Xiao's head. Suyu really did not expect that he would be able to see Xiao Xiao on his return this time. Xiao Xiao hadn't grown up yet. She hadn't fallen out with her father and become a trainee under Imperial Star. Then she became a soldier. Thinking of Xiao Xiao, Suyu suddenly thought of Han Yueyao. Actually, he felt quite sorry for that girl. However, now that everyone in the other world had forgotten about him, Yao Yao should be married by now, right? His thoughts were led astray just like that. By the time Suyu came back to his senses, everyone had already finished eating and drinking tea. Suyu saw that Huamin's mother was a little tired. He quickly said, Grandpa, Auntie Yang isn't feeling well. I'll send them back first. Hey, go quickly. Don't let your in-laws suffer. Just like that, Suyu found an excuse and left with Huamin. The rest of the people were all sent to the hotel run by the Su family. The grand family banquet ended just like that. It was like an engagement party. In the car, Yang Meong suddenly called out to Suyu. Hey auntie, what is it? Suyu was very polite. Chapter 46-35. Our family isn't a rich one. But Mion hasn't suffered any grievances in our family all these years. If she marries into our family in the future and does anything wrong, tell me. I'll scold her, but don't hit us. I can't even bear to hit myself. As she spoke, Yang Meirong's eyes turned red. Mom, why are you saying this? Huamin felt that his mother was thinking too far ahead. Mom, this is so tough. Only brother Suyu will be hit. She definitely won't be bullied. Don't worry, Xixin said with a smile. To be honest, Suyu's heart ached when he heard Yang Meirong's words. He understood how a mother felt. It must be hard for her daughter to get married. Suyu replied seriously as he drove, Auntie Yang, don't worry. I won't lay a finger on Mion for the rest of my life. Really, I won't. Even if she doesn't do well in my eyes, she's still good. After saying this, Xixin laughed. Brother Suyu, you're a typical henpecked husband. No, this is how I show my love for my wife, Suyu said proudly. Alright, let's not talk about it anymore. Hurry up and drive. Be careful. Huamin was a little embarrassed and didn't want to talk about this topic anymore. At Huamin's house, Suyu stopped the car and picked up all the things the Su family had given him. Then he said goodbye to them at the door. Auntie, it's late. You guys should rest early. Brother Suyu, my sister said that you have a lot of limited edition Japanese comics in your room. There's even Slam Dunk. Okay, I'll go back tomorrow and pack them up. I'll send them all to you. Wow, really? Jishin was excited. That's not a problem. Suyu patted Jishin's shoulder lovingly. To be honest, whether it was Jixin or Yang Mirong, Suyu didn't feel unfamiliar at all. After all, he was already very familiar with them in the other world. Mion, you should go to bed early too. Suyu looked at Huamin. Yes. Take the red packet and deposit it tomorrow. It's not safe for you to carry so much cash. I don't want the red packet. That's not good. Huamin felt that it was not good to eat and take food at Suyu's house. Take it. It's nothing compared to my grandma's bracelet. After that, Suyu smiled, turned around, got into the car and left. She had never wanted to shamelessly stick to Huamin. After returning to the courtyard, Jixin snatched his sister's red envelope. I'll help you check. You little money grubber. Huamin smiled and glanced at his younger brother. Jixin opened all the red packets and was stunned. The Su family is so rich. Even their relatives are so rich. These red packets are all worth at least 20,000 yuan. Some even gave 50,000 yuan. Oh my god, my values have been refreshed. No, it should be said that poverty has limited my imagination. Those red packets were carried back in a handbag. When Huamin carried it, she knew that it was a huge sum of money. Sure enough, there were more than 300,000 yuan in total. It was all cash. Sis, a total of 360,000 yuan, Jixin exclaimed. Okay, deposit it for mom tomorrow, Huamin said calmly. She had seen Suyu's family's wealth. Then I helped you check for so long. Aren't you going to give me some money for my hard work? Jixin said with a smile. Huamin took out 50 yuan from her pocket. Here, go and eat KFC. Please sis, it's not even enough for a family bucket, okay? Then I'll give you another 50. Miss Huamin, I admire you. Jixin took the 100 yuan and smiled as he entered the house. Huamin carried the money to her mother's house. However, she saw her mother crying secretly. As she was crying, Mom, what's wrong? Do you not like Suyu? Huamin asked worriedly. Chapter 46-36. Yang Mirong shook her head. No, I'm happy for you. Nonsense, I don't believe you. Mom, you can't bear to part with me, right? Huamin hugged her mother's neck and acted coquettishly. No, after you leave, I won't have to sleep in my own room. I can sleep in your room and have one less person to eat with. I'll save a lot of money, Yang Mirong cried as she spoke. Of course, she didn't mean that. What mother couldn't bear to part with her daughter? She thought that after breaking up with Ning Ziyuan, Mion would be able to stay at home for a while longer. Who would have thought that she would get married so soon? She wasn't mentally prepared at all. Thinking back to the past 2 days of interacting with the Su family, she felt like she was dreaming. However, what made Yang Mirong very happy was that her daughter had married well this time. Now she could finally hold her head high. Hu Jinghai and Jiang Hong didn't have to go too far and talk bad about her and her daughter. Mom, do you feel like a green cabbage that you've been raising for years has been eaten by a pig? When Yang Mirong heard this, she burst out laughing. Don't talk nonsense. Yu is so handsome. How can you call him a pig? Wrong. What I mean is, Suyu is a cabbage and I'm a pig. Yang Mirong was amused by Huamin and immediately stopped crying. Then she turned around and helped Huamin smooth her messy hair. Myung, go ahead, Mom. Although I'm not educated, I can still tell the difference between good and bad people. Although the Su family is a prestigious family, I can tell that they're really nice, especially Commander Su. He doesn't have the airs of an old leader. When you marry him, you have to be filial to him. Mom, I know. Then there should be less awkwardness between the two of you. Suyu seems to care about you. Although the process is a little fast, we can't doubt his sincerity. After all, Suyu took the initiative to propose to you. There's nothing for us to ask for, right? Mom, you're right. Anyway, don't let your imagination run wild. Yang Mirong really didn't know what to say, so she simply gave her daughter a few words of advice. On the other hand, Suyu excitedly took into Tang Chuan's private club. In the spacious private room, Wei Liao and Tang Chuan had already opened several bottles of red wine and were waiting here. Oh, the main character is here. Seeing Suyu enter, Tang Chuan stood up excitedly. Lord Su Wen? You even asked us to open 3 bottles of wine and wait for you. Why, did something good happen at Imperial Star again? Wei Liao asked him. Suyu shook his head. It has nothing to do with the company. Anyway, it's great news. Shaoan was also confused. He had been on vacation for a few days and had wanted to secretly meet the netizens. However, his best friend had been keeping a close eye on him. As a result, These few days of vacation had been in vain. As soon as he returned to Suyu's villa, he was brought out by his boss for an appointment. Therefore, other than Suyu, the other 3 people in the room didn't know what had happened. Hurry up and tell me. I'm dying of anxiety. Tang Chuan was an impatient person. When he heard Suyu say that he had good news to announce, his heart was already itching. However, Suyu wasn't in a hurry. He glanced at Wei Liao and asked, "How are you and Dr. Jiang?" "Who's Dr. Jiang?" Wei Liao asked deliberately. "Don't pretend. After I told you last time, didn't you go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau to meet her? Have you been hot these past few days?" Wei Liao was a little embarrassed. "That comrade little Jiang is really interesting, but there's nothing between the two of us. Don't spread rumors." Chapter 46-37. There's nothing going on between the two of you. You'll just have a child together in the future. Oh right, if you have a son in the future, his name must be Wei Yunchu. Suyu pointed at Wei Liao and said very seriously. "Tang Chuan, and why?" Wei Liao was dumbfounded. "Because I like it." Suyu giggled. "Get lost." Wei Liao knew that Suyu was never serious. "Lord Su, let's get to the point." "Hurry up." Tang Chuan leaned over impatiently. "How's your financial situation recently?" Suyu glanced at him from the corner of his eyes. "I don't have money." "No need to borrow money," Tang Chuan said on purpose. "You want me to borrow money from you? Dream on. Last time you stole a painting from me that was worth millions. I didn't even ask you for money." Suyu glared at him. Tang Chuan quickly changed the topic. "Lord Su, let's not talk about the past. Hurry up and talk about today." Suyu picked up a melon seed on the table and put it in his mouth. "I'm getting married. You two should prepare a wedding gift. I accept WeChat and Alipay transfers, but there's a limit. It's best if you can transfer it to me directly through mobile banking. If mobile banking is troublesome, you can tell your company's finance department to transfer it directly to our company's account. Thank you." "Fuck. What did you say?" Tang Chuan was shocked. "Are you kidding?" Wei Liao obviously didn't believe him. "Today isn't April Fool's Day. I'm not joking with you two. I'm getting married. Do you know? It's next month." Suyu was smug. Back then both of them had other halves. Then they would always laugh at Suyu for being single. Now the tables had turned. In this parallel world, Suyu was the first to end his single life. Because of Suyu's hint, Wei Liao had just gotten to know Professor Jiang. And where was Tang Chuan's other half? Because in a world without Qin Chu, Suyu didn't know if Qin Ning would appear. Boss, wake up, wake up. It's not dark yet." And hurried over and boldly slapped the boss's face. Wei Liao and Tang Chuan were so happy that they almost fell to the ground. "Get lost. I'm not dreaming. Even though you're my bodyguard, you're gifts. Otherwise you're not allowed to come to my wedding." Suyu pointed at An. And was speechless. "Lord Su, stop fooling around. Tell me what's going on. Why do I find it inconceivable?" After Tang Chuan stopped smiling, he became serious. Suyu raised the wine glass beside him. "Just yesterday our Su family met our in-laws. My wife's family all came to our Su family for dinner. Our Su family has been here for more than 20 years, including my aunt in the capital and my third uncle in Guangdong. In short, the entire family came." "Fuck, no way. It's such a grand occasion and you didn't invite me?" Tang Chuan cursed. "It's because it's too grand that I can't invite you. I'm afraid that you'll drink too much and take off your pants and embarrass me," Suyu said. Tang Chuan kicked Suyu's butt. "Fuck you, you're the one who's taking off your pants. Lord Su, don't tell me that your bride is the girl who ate hot pot that day?" Wei Liao reacted the fastest. "Congratulations, you even know how to answer first." Suyu blew Wei Liao a kiss. Wei Liao was speechless. Tang Chuan was speechless. And was speechless. "Boss, I only took 3 days off," and said with a dumbfounded expression. "That's right, so I made a big decision in my life for the next 3 days. Boss? Are you serious? Are you really going to marry Miss Hua?" And was still worried. Suyu will marry no one but her." Suyu patted his chest and promised. "Then the question is she willing to marry you now?" Wei Liao interrupted. Chapter 46-38. Suyu smiled proudly. Old Wei, aren't you asking a bunch of bullshit? If she doesn't want to, how can I get married myself? Are you sure, Lord Su? Let me tell you, after you get married, if there are any rumors about you, you'll be called a jerk by the netizens. Tang Chuan gave him a friendly reminder. After I get married, I promise there won't be a single female fly by my side. Don't worry. Looks like you're really determined this time. I wish you a happy marriage in advance. Wei Liao raised the wine glass in his hand. Tonight, Suyu didn't drink too late and finished early. Ever since they started discussing the marriage, Suyu felt like he was on cloud 9. He was afraid that if he said or did something wrong, Huamin would be unhappy and break off the engagement. Huamin wanted to talk to Lingling about this, but Lingling had been flying around recently and hadn't returned to Sea City. So he couldn't find an opportunity. One day at noon, Suyu came to find Huamin for lunch. The two of them sneaked into a small shop behind the hospital like thieves. Suyu parked his car a kilometer away and walked over, afraid that someone was following them. Of course, Huamin didn't want their relationship to be exposed. After all, this was Suyu. In a Hunan restaurant, Huamin casually ordered a few dishes. Let's see. Hey honey, what's your order? Should lower your voice. Who's your wife? Huamin was so scared that his face changed. He quickly looked around to see if anyone was looking at them. Next month. Suyu's smile bloomed like a flower. Suyu, I'm here today, to talk to you about the wedding. Huamin lowered his head, not daring to look at Suyu. Wretched girl, you're not going to break the engagement, are you? Suyu's little heart was beating wildly in fright. One had to know that this proposal was not easy. If he were to propose directly, he would definitely be rejected. That was why Suyu brought his entire family to force her to marry him. It was rare that Huamin had already reluctantly agreed. If there were more changes now, he was afraid that, no. Huamin shook his head. Thinking that she had already met all the elders of the Su family, if she were to break off the engagement now, wouldn't she be throwing the Su family's face? Huamin did not want to do such a thing, nor did he want to be ungrateful. Being able to marry into the Su family was indeed a blessing that many women dreamed of. Then what do you want to say? Is there something that you don't like? Suyu was relieved when he heard that it was not breaking off the engagement. Actually, I want to say that we don't have such a big wedding. I know that the Su family is rich and powerful, but I don't want the whole city to know about it. Also, I heard that the country's policies are very strict, especially when it comes to the marriage of the children of officials. We can't be extravagant and wasteful. We have to think about Lord Su, right? After Huamin finished speaking, he looked at Suyu's expression. Suyu was silent for a while before saying, "You mean we should keep a low profile?" Huamin nodded furiously. Yes. We have to keep a low profile. This suits my personality the most. Then I'll let Grandpa know. Then we'll keep it simple and keep it low profile. Okay. Huamin smiled like a flower. He thought that with Suyu's flamboyant personality he would definitely strongly object. Huamin did not expect things to go so smoothly. Suddenly he felt very gratified. But, when do you plan to register your marriage with me? Huamin did not expect Suyu to suddenly ask this. We can register our marriage any time. There's no rush for that, Huamin said as he ate. Who said there's no rush? I'm so anxious. I'm afraid that you'll break your promise, Suyu said honestly. That anxious look of hers almost made Huamin laugh to death. You still have the cheek to laugh? Suyu glared at her with a dark expression. It was all because of her. He had been suffering from insomnia for the past few days. Chapter 46-39. I can't run away. What are you worried about? We can register our marriage any day. I think it's better to do it today than to pick a date. Today? Huamin froze. Yes, let's go after dinner. But I'm at work. Huamin found an excuse. You can take 2 hours off. 2 hours is enough. But I don't have my household registration booklet with me. I can send someone to get it from your house and meet us at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Huamin was speechless. Myun, is that okay? This was probably the first time in his life that Suyu was acting cute. Suyu was afraid that Huamin would reject him, so for the first time he pouted and stared at Huamin cutely. Huamin really couldn't bear to reject his pitiful look, so he fell deeply into his trap. Then, okay, I'll call my mom and tell her. Su Yu's decisions were all very sudden, so Huamin thought about it and felt that it made sense. Since he had decided to get married and had accepted so many gifts from Su Yu's family, it was impossible for him to break the engagement now. Therefore, it was only a matter of time before they registered their marriage. He heard that the Su family was looking for an expert to pick the wedding date next month. Huamin didn't know about these things, so he left everything to Su Yu's mother. After dinner, Huamin made 2 calls. One was to tell his mother that Su Yu's people were going to get his household registration booklet. The other was to call the hospital and ask for 2 hours of leave in the afternoon. Then Huamin got into Su Yu's car and the 2 of them went to the Civil Affairs Bureau. After and received Su Yu's instructions, he drove the Lamborghini to Huamin's house at lightning speed. After getting his household registration booklet, he immediately rushed to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The timing was just right. Su Yu and Huamin got out of the car and handed over his household registration booklet. Another person from Su Yu's company came in a Mercedes-Benz and brought 2 white shirts from a certain famous brand. Come change into this later. What? Looking at the white shirt, Huamin was stunned again. I heard that white shirts look good in wedding photos, Su Yu said. How do you know? Have you ever been married? Huamin looked at him with amusement. Even if you haven't eaten pork, you've seen pigs run. Alright, you're going to be a bully here. Hurry up and change your clothes. Su Yu patted Huamin's head and coaxed him into the room. Boss, are you trying to kidnap a young girl? And chuckled. Get lost. I want to get married. If anyone dares to stop me, I'll chop them up. Su Yu scolded jokingly and entered the Civil Affairs Bureau with the white shirt. Su Yu was going to make a call to the leaders here and ask for special treatment. However, Huamin refused and insisted on waiting in line. In the end, they waited for half an hour before it was their turn. Huamin, Su Yu, right? Yes. Give me your ID and household registration booklet, the staff member said. The 2 of them handed it over. After reviewing the documents, the staff member asked routinely, Have you thought about it? Yes, we've thought about it for a long time. Su Yu couldn't wait. Huamin was so angry that he pinched him. The staff member couldn't help but laugh. Take good care of your wife after you get married. Do more work that a man should do. Don't be too calculative and tolerant. Okay, I'll definitely do it. Su Yu was also an obedient child today. No matter what the staff member said, he would do it. In the end, after receiving the marriage certificate, Su Yu couldn't bear to put it down. He held it in his hand and looked at it repeatedly. After Huamin received the red booklet, she had mixed feelings. She had thought that she would graduate from university with Ning Ziyuan and get married smoothly. Then the 2 of them would go into medicine. She thought that it would be good, but she didn't expect so many things to happen. Most importantly, she didn't expect to marry Su Yu. Su Yu. Huamin suddenly wanted to say something. Call me hubby. After Su Yu tricked her, he changed his attitude and directly threatened Huamin. Chapter 4640. Huamin blushed. Keep your voice down. What are you afraid of? Everyone here is here to register their marriage. Quick, call me hubby. Su Yu knocked on Huamin's head to tease him. Call you my ass. Su Yu, you're too much. If you don't want to call me that, fine, I'll kiss you in front of everyone. I'll see if you're embarrassed. With that, Su Yu hugged Huamin. Huamin was really afraid that he would kiss him in public. He quickly called out, Hubby. What? I didn't hear you. Su Yu, don't push your luck. You're still calling me Su Yu. From now on, you have to call me hubby. If you call me hubby once, I'll fine you 20 yuan and deduct it from your salary. Su Yu, don't burn the bridge after crossing it. I really fell for your trick. You weren't like this when you begged me to come. Huamin was both angry and amused. Yeah, I changed my mind faster than flipping a book. If you're not happy, you can kiss me. Huamin was speechless. Su Yu, come, let me tell you. Do you know where that is? Huamin pointed to a place and asked Su Yu. Su Yu was speechless. Su Yu wasn't familiar with this place, so he really didn't know. That's where you get a divorce. If you keep pretending, I'll drag you to get a divorce right now. What a joke. If I don't get a divorce, you won't be able to get one yourself. Are you bullying me because I'm not well educated? Su Yu smiled smugly. But I heard that the marriage law states that if one party is separated for more than half a year, they can automatically file for divorce. Separated for half a year? You're really ruthless. I was wrong. From today onwards I'm yours. I'll do whatever you say. If you tell me to go east, I won't dare to go west. If you tell me to beat a dog, I won't dare to beat a chicken. I'll do whatever you say. Suyu finally didn't dare to continue pretending. In fact, one could see the status of the family before marriage. Holding the little red book, Suyu suddenly felt that the whole world was bright. When other people registered their marriage, they would give the staff here some wedding candies. Suyu, on the other hand, directly ordered takeout for all the staff of the Civil Affairs Bureau. The dishes were comparable to a wedding banquet. He was truly the #1 tycoon. After collecting the certificate, Suyu sent Huamin back to the hospital. Honey, I'll pick you up after work. Don't bother, I'll go back by myself. No, I meant to take you back to my house, my private villa. Why are we going to your house? Huamin was still confused. From today onwards, we're legally married. If we don't go to my house, do we go to your house? It's not that we can't go to your house. It's just that your bed is a little small. I'm afraid it'll affect my performance. After hearing this, Huamin went up and grabbed Suyu's ear. Can you stop talking dirty with me? Are you bullying me because I don't know anything? Ouch, ouch. Don't pull, it hurts. Honey, I was wrong. I'll pick you up after work and send you back to your house. No need, my mom already said that the bride and groom can't see each other too often before the wedding. It's not good. Who said that? Aren't we separated for 7 or 8 hours when we go home to sleep? It's not like we're stuck together 24/7. You always have a twisted logic. Huamin laughed. How about this, from today until the wedding, I'll ask An to pick you up from work and protect you. No need, I'm a nurse with a salary of 4,000 yuan a month. Who can kidnap me? Of course it's different because from today onwards you're Suyu's wife. Suyu looked into Huamin's eyes and said word by word. Chapter 46-41. For some reason, Huamin's heart started beating wildly after hearing Suyu's words. She had never thought that one day others would call her Lady Su. Being Suyu's wife was a gold medal in itself. She could do whatever she wanted in the entire sea city. However, Huamin wasn't that ambitious. Until now, she still found it unbelievable that Suyu fell in love with her at first sight and wanted to marry her. To be honest, if the Su family hadn't come to propose marriage that day, if Suyu had proposed himself, Huamin would have definitely rejected him because she felt that this matter was too unreliable. However, Suyu's grandfather, such a powerful old man, had personally come to her house. It had indeed moved her and her mother. The Su family's sincerity was really great. Therefore, Huamin wasn't someone who didn't know what was good for her. Now that they had registered their marriage, the two of them were legally recognized as husband and wife. This feeling suddenly felt very subtle. In the end, Huamin didn't say anything. She only smiled. Then she said goodbye to Suyu and walked towards the hospital. Suyu looked at her back until she walked inside and couldn't be seen. Then Suyu drove away. At the headquarters of Imperial Star. Less than half an hour after Suyu returned to the company, the finance department issued an announcement. President Su said that all the employees would be paid double this month, and their overtime pay would be tripled. Also, the female employees would have a 1,000 yuan shopping card, and the male employees would have a 1,000 yuan gas card. The moment this news came out, the entire company was in an uproar. Everyone was guessing what was going on with the boss. Did he close a big project? However, no one dared to ask Suyu directly. Only An knew what was going on. In the office, Suyu took a photo of the little red book with his phone. Then he sent it to his friends. Actually, there were only 3 words in it. Other than Suyu, there were only Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. Come, let me show you this. Suyu's face was full of pride. Tang Chuan. Fuck, what's this? Could it be the legendary band tightening spell? Suyu, get lost. Wei Liao, so fast? It couldn't have been done at the fake certificate office, right? Suyu, you two are fake brothers. Appraisal complete. Tang Chuan, stop fooling around. Did you really get your marriage certificate? Suyu, yes. Wei Liao, have you found a team of lawyers to settle the premarital division of assets? Suyu, no. Suyu did not finish his words. The two of them were shocked. Tang Chuan, that is to say, if your newlywed wife divorces you after a few months of marriage, she will be worth billions? Wei Liao, not only that but also shares and funds. All the assets under Suyu's name will have to be split in half. Tang Chuan, fuck. I want to marry you too. Suyu, I say, can you two stop fooling around and speak human language? I got my marriage certificate today. Besides, I've never thought of getting a divorce. I'll never get a divorce. No, for 2 lifetimes I'll never get a divorce. Although Tang Chuan and Wei Liao liked to fool around with him, they knew that Suyu was not a fool. He would not marry a girl for no reason and not even settle the division of assets. Tang Chuan believed in love at first sight. It meant that you felt that the person was your wife at first sight. However, Wei Liao was more rational. He had a feeling that Suyu was hiding something from them. However, Suyu did not say anything because it was not the right time yet. He believed that this girl named Huamin and Suyu were fated to be together. If not for Huamin's repeated reminders to keep a low profile, Suyu really wanted to post their marriage certificate on Weibo and WeChat to show off. After all, he was no longer single. After being excited for a while, he immediately sent a WeChat message to Huamin. Honey, I miss you very much. Chapter 46-42. Suyu saw it and smiled sweetly. Look at his smug look. Even his smile is so lewd. I really can't stand it. Tang Chuan was angry. He had a reputation for being a playboy all his life, but in the end Suyu beat him to it. The 3 of them had been single for thousands of years and none of them had a girlfriend. Now Suyu suddenly got married in a flash. To Wei Liao and Tang Chuan it was a big blow. As for Suyu's marriage partner, the 2 of them had no idea. Of course they still had confidence in Suyu. Since Suyu liked the person, she must be a dragon or phoenix among men. Huamin held the phone and felt that it was unnecessary. One day when they were having dinner he returned the phone to him. What's wrong? Have you had enough fun? Yes, I'm bored. Let me see if you have deleted my WeChat friend list. Suyu said deliberately and then scrolled through the phone. Am I such a tasteless person? Huamin smiled. Let's get a new phone later. It's a limited edition for couples. I have already custom-made it with the phone manufacturer. It will take at least 3 months to get it back. Are you crazy? What kind of phone can't you use? Why do you need to custom-make it? Huamin was dumbfounded. Just listen to me. Suyu was in a good mood and then he ate the plate of stir-fried beef with gusto. Huamin realized that Suyu did not like to eat vegetables. He had been eating meat, but fortunately his body was well proportioned and he was not fat. You like to eat meat? Nonsense, I'm not a monk. Of course I like to eat meat. But I've been eating with you for so long and I realized that you don't even eat a single green leaf. Huamin looked at him. Yes, green leaf is for ducks. Why would I eat it? Do you know how many vitamins are in vegetables? If you keep eating meat like this, you'll be a bald uncle with a big belly before you're 50 years old. Greasy. At the end, Huamin deliberately added a greasy word. Really? I'm a medical student. Don't you trust me? Suyu looked at Huamin suspiciously. Then he decided to continue eating the beef. Huamin snatched the stir-fried beef and pushed the stir-fried broccoli in front of Suyu. Eat it all, Suyu, we have to eat it all. Then call me husband. Suyu bargained. Huamin smashed Suyu's head with his chopsticks. While the 2 of them were talking and laughing, a person suddenly walked over. What a coincidence. Huasiqian was still dressed as brightly as ever. Even his short-sleeved shirt was orange and his hair was dyed linen. This Huahua didn't look like a boss at all. Instead he looked like an 18th-tier male model who had just entered the entertainment industry. Oh, what a coincidence. President Hua is also here for dinner. Suyu smiled. Suyu and Huamian went to eat at a private Chinese restaurant that was very delicious. Huamin liked the vegetarian food here, so Suyu often came here. He didn't expect to meet Huasiqian here. Sister Mian, your face has been round recently. Did Suyu feed you? Huasiqian glanced at Huamin and smiled gently. Huamin had never liked her. It was like this in that world and it was the same in this world. Even though they were half-siblings, Huamin still hated her. Faced with Huasiqian's question, Huamin didn't say anything. How long have you 2 been dating? You're good at keeping it a secret. No media outlets have reported it. Huasiqian continued to look at Suyu. Suyu slowly picked up his glass and took a sip of water. Then he smiled and said, We've been married for less than a week. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.